Hi everyone, I actually filmed this quite a while ago, probably over a month ago, and I just completely forgot to edit it. This was filmed somewhere around the winter solstice. That was kind of around when it was done, I think. Don't quote me. So yeah, I just wanted to do something that was kind of wintry. So to start off with, I'm just going to be putting on my base. I'm going back to using the Pat McGrath primer lately, which last I checked on Ulta, it looks like it's been repackaged. I am having some troubles on my skin lately, so I'm going to spot conceal just a tiny bit first before I go in with foundation. I believe I was using the green. I don't know, it's been so long since I filmed this. I used my Givenchy foundation. I was too lazy to go wet a sponge, so I was just using this puff, but honestly, when my skin is really dry, I don't actually like using cushion puffs that much, so my skin was really crusty and dry up close. You can't really see it, but my skin felt very dry and crusty, so I try to be more diligent about actually using a damp sponge these days, but sometimes I just don't feel like it. As you can see, I got extra lazy for my nose and I just used my finger to kind of dab on a little bit extra. I really just put on barely just enough to cover up a minimal amount because my skin was so dry. I didn't really want to overdo it and look cakey. I forgot to put on my under eye brightener, so I'm just doing that here really quickly. And then for concealer, again, my under eyes were very dry, so I'm just using the Luna concealer this time. I use this once in a blue moon. As you can see, it doesn't fully cover up my tear groove, but it covers up the darkness pretty well. Using some setting spray there, the Dialbo one. I'm pretty sure at this point it is pretty much fully vanished from the face of this planet, but that's alright. Then under eye powder, just a little bit. As you can see in my recent videos these days, I use very little setting powder right now, just kind of the way my makeup habits and routine has to change during the winter when my skin is really dry, is I use substantially less powder than otherwise. I'm still using the Jaclyn eye primer here. At the time that I am voicing this over and editing this, I did actually find my other eye primers, so I am very happy to be able to continue using them, but at the time I was filming this, I hadn't found them yet. I'm just gonna do my eyebrows really quick. I decided to leave in a little bit more footage of me doing my eyebrows than normal. These days I usually cut through it pretty quickly because I don't know how many people are interested in watching me do my eyebrows. I know most creators actually already have them done, but I decided to leave in just a little bit extra footage for you guys so you can see how I do my brows these days. I still do prefer a straighter eyebrow, but I do leave just a very subtle curve right at the end. I used a brush to blend out the eyebrow instead of a spoolie because the spoolie, over time the spoolie kind of will build up product and then it will kind of not blend really well. And then I just spot concealed additionally on top of my foundation, just that one little spot, my little one trouble. As you can see, it is now very well concealed. I am going to use the shades in this Flower Nose chocolate palette to contour with. I am heavily debating getting a backup only because Flower Nose collections, none of them are ever permanent, and I feel like I'm never gonna hit pan on this, but at the same time, what if I do? I don't know. I'm really debating it, which I know I'm probably kind of dumb, but I'm debating it. And then I use the brightening kind of setting powder that was in this palette, which is really blurring, really nice. Now, I will be going over more details on Ensley Rain at the end of this video when I am talking with the finished look, so if you would like to hear more thoughts on Ensley Rain, just sit tight, wait for the end of this video. So for now, during the voiceover portion, I am just going to focus on discussing what was going through my head as I was creating this look. So when I was making this look, I really wanted to try being a little bit more deliberate and precise with my eyeshadow placement. You know, I always am jealous of people with so much eyelid space. They can put so much eyeshadow in so many different places and have such elaborate looks, and I've just come to realize if I want to do something similar that uses a ton of colors, I just have to put them down in smaller sized patches, which, you know, kind of sucks that I don't have that much eyelid space to play around with, but that's just how it goes. If I want to use lots of colors, each color has to take up a little less space. So I decided to practice with this look being more precise, deliberate, and controlled with my eyeshadow application. That is why you can see I'm using multiple different colors of mattes that don't necessarily look like they'd go together at first glance, but I think I did a pretty good job with assembling the look without making the colors run together, look over blended, or look muddy, and I was pretty happy with that. I am just going back in with the dark purple again as a second layer there, just to build it up extra, and I decided at this point that I was going to do a more precise winged out look for the edge. So that's why you can see here, that's just what I am working on. And the shadows themselves do blend out and apply pretty well. I wasn't necessarily able to get them to look super opaque, but that's more me having dry eyelids than anything. I have noticed that the vast majority of indie eyeshadow matte formulas really don't play well with dry eyelids. So I am still looking for ways to remedy that and prep my eyelid space better. But anyways, I used this Bobbi Brown single eyeshadow just to blend out the edges, add a little bit of contour above everything. You can see it's like it barely makes a difference, but it's a subtle one that I like. I did get that shadow from the cosmetic company store at a outlet mall, like probably at this point 1 or 2 years ago, so that's why I have it, even though it is technically unavailable. It's just because sometimes if I'm traveling, I will float through the outlet mall and see if I can find a cosmetic company store and waste my money. This shadow, it didn't pick up the best on a brush, I'll be honest. It probably would have picked up better if I was using a firmer, stiffer brush. This Sonia G brush is actually on the softer side, so it's really not the greatest at picking up these shimmers, but I have so many brushes in the wash, and so my options are slowly becoming more and more limited. And then I used this across the top of the look. I accidentally put down way too much, so I really didn't mean to apply that much in such a large area, but it's fine. It's really pretty, so I can't necessarily be mad at it. Honestly, the shimmers in this palette really blew me away. They are so gorgeous. This is just one of those instances where, and this happens to me a lot, Ensley Rain is certainly not the only brand where I feel this way, where I really want to like them. I want to be able to support them and feel good about it, but they are doing the best job possible at making me continue to stay away, and it's really a bummer because they've got something good going, and yeah, they just can't behave, so it is what it is. I will mention offhandedly, I did not say this at the end of the video because at the time the information hadn't come out yet, but there are some people I know on Instagram who have gathered together. They have come to the realization after receiving testimonials from people that the Ensley Rain affiliate program for the longest time actually only paid in store credit, and that wasn't necessarily disclosed to you. Like, just really scummy. Just one more thing to add to the pile of why I don't currently support them, so bummer. I did think I needed some extra depth in the outer edge of my lower lash line, so I'm just using this dark brown shimmer. It's a little bit more on the satin side, which I love when darker shimmers are a little bit more satin, because then they become super multi-purpose. I can use them for anything, and I can use them to add darkness without them catching the light. I added a little bit of kind of a winged liner moment by using the darker black in this palette, which does have some micro glitters in it, but honestly they barely show up, so for all intents and purposes I treated it as a matte, and then I just used a little bit of that black on the inner corner instead of actual liner, which I probably should have used liner, but I didn't feel like it. I'm just using cement to add a little bit more dimension and blend out my lower lash line just a tiny bit more, and that is pretty much it for that palette. So next I decided I really wanted to add a glitter topper, so I used Shadow Gallery to dab on a little bit extra. More sparkles more often. There's never enough sparkle for me. A lot of my blushes are cleaned and put up right now, so I used the blush tones from the HINDASH Monochromance Eyeshadow Palette. I started off with the pink, and then after blending all of that out as good as I possibly could, I went in with the cooler purple tone in Monochromance and used that. So here I'm just blending out the pink with a diffused brush, and now here you can see footage of me putting on the cooler pink. And I just layer it very carefully. I switched to a smaller brush for my other cheek because I realized I really wanted to be more precise and not make it go everywhere. I think the blush turned out really pretty. I think it looks so good. I miss his HINDASH beauty. I hope they're okay. I still need to get boy tears. And then for highlighter, I kind of decided I wanted my highlighter to kind of maybe stick out a little bit more, maybe just be a little bit more prominent, kind of add to the point of the look. So I used Gifted from KALEIDOS. Prophecy and Gifted, I really wish I had more excuses to use them more often. I mean, I could use them more often. I'm just bad about using my stuff, but I do wish I could use them more often. I used the Shadow Gallery palette for the highlighter for my nose and chin. It is a beautiful highlighter. And then lastly for the lips, you guys, I picked the perfect lip tone for this look. I'm so excited. Wait till you guys see it, but I'm just putting on lip liner first. I'm using this Blur Fudge tint shade. Look at it. Is it not just perfect? This is basically my favorite shade from Romand right now. It's something about it is just absolute perfection. So yep, that finishes off this voiceover portion. I will move over into talking in a few seconds. Hi everyone, this is going to be my finished look. These are just some random lashes from Doe Lashes. At this point I don't have the packaging anymore, so I'm not gonna remember what they are, but I hope you guys enjoyed this look. So I don't know what I'm gonna discuss in the voiceover, but just really quickly, in case I don't really go into too much detail, I currently haven't bought from Ensley Rain Cosmetics in a really long time, mostly just because of the fact that they use AI art, which is just fundamentally very unethical. I also noticed when I was looking at the packaging that you can see it is such a low quality image, definitely not print worthy at all, and there are so many artifacts here that you can definitely tell that this was an AI generated image. There are just so many little bits of noise and other really random edges, artifacts, and other just randomly placed pixels that this definitely was not, in my opinion, fit for printing. You can definitely tell. What even is kerning? There are so many aspects of using AI art that bother me, and as the pettiest thing I can point out is that if you're gonna use it, at least use it properly. This is not even what I would call a stellar use case of print quality or text layout, and I didn't even get a degree in graphic design and it bothers me. So other than that, I know that the Brittany Huffman herself has since cut ties with Ensley Rain Cosmetics, so all of her looks using this are gone from both her social media and the Ensley Rain social media, and I don't actually think you can get this anymore. Brittany Huffman seems to me like a very honest, hardworking, and very creative and skilled makeup creator, and if she has completely cut ties with the brand that she used to collaborate with, then that to me is a major red flag of the brand potentially being unprofessional, unethical, or otherwise just not good behind the scenes. Brittany Huffman herself really never made more than just one temporary IG story about it. That IG story I did not screenshot, and as far as I can tell, that's the only mention she really ever made of it, probably mostly for legal reasons, I would assume. So I don't really have details on what went down, but to me that's just such a big red flag. So I had every intention of doing 5 looks 1 palette with this palette when it first came out. Obviously that never happened for varying reasons, but I was really feeling the mood to do something blue and purple today, and so I thought to myself I might as well pull this out. The Cool Rose Up Blur Fudge tint from Romand has probably been one of my favorite Blur Fudge tint shades of all time lately. Ever since that collection came out, I have used Cool Rose Up the most. I absolutely love it. You can see it is so flattering on my lips. Even though my lips are kind of dry, you can see it still looks really smoothing and pretty. So yeah, that plus a nice hefty dose of Prophecy from, is it Prophecy? Hold on. I can't remember, which one did I use? That plus a nice hefty dose of Gifted on the cheeks always makes the look nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of winter inspired kind of makeup look. And with that, I'm gonna sign off. So until then, take care. Bye bye.